Hello, I am here with the Marvel Rivals Season 2 patch notes. Now, I'm not doing this live on stream because I'm trying to avoid spoilers so that I can give you guys my live reaction of exactly how I feel about these changes without having to see them prior and without making prejudgments. So that's why I am rushing to do this today before I go back on stream tomorrow. I hope that's all right. We are going to crack straight on with these Season 2 changes. I'm very excited. Apparently, there's a lot that I'm going to be excited by personally. So we're just going to jump right in and see what we've got cooking. I'll see what the devs have got cooking. Oh boy, please be good. Please be good. So we saw the trailer and stuff yesterday. Now we get into the minutia numbers. So let's kick off. We have the Vanguard changes. So we'll start with Cap. Steve will undergo some adjustments to his survivability, leading to a slight decrease in his overall resilience. Nerf. Interesting. Reduce base health from 675 to 650. 25. Pretty minor. Reduce the shield value of Living Legend. Didn't they... Wasn't that a 1.5 change? So did they just revert the 1.5 change down to 350? It's sad for Cap mains. But I guess we don't know how good the team up is yet, right? So maybe the team up makes for a lot of that slight nerf here. Doc Strange. I will not skip ahead. The Sorcerer Supreme will see a reduction in his offensive capabilities, limiting his battlefield control. So decrease daggers of arc damage per projectile from 18 to 16. Pretty significant, actually. It's only 2 damage. But that's 2 damage for each dagger, right? So does he fire? Is it 5 or 6 he fires each time? So I mean, it's pretty significant damage reduction. Reduce the Maelstrom and Mantis conversion ratio. Okay, so it's basically a damage nerf, right? I thought that he was getting some survivability buffs. Isn't that what they said in the dev diary? So I mean, it looks like he's got no buffs. Maybe that's a 2.5. Maybe like halfway through the season they're going to give him that, but just a straight up strange nerf. I think that's pretty significant. I don't think it changes his utility or anything. He's still, the portal is still insane. His ultimate is still really good. His shield is still really effective. So I don't think it's going to knock him out the meta 100%, but it's definitely a nerf. Particularly for like diving backline and stuff, right? Or you're pressuring the supports. Hulk. The Green Goliath will boast enhanced maneuverability and improved survivability upon entering combat. The base movement speed. That is pretty significant. That is pretty significant, especially for a melee character, right? Maybe that's why they've done it. Maybe this is going to be a general speed buff. Obviously, Cap doesn't really need it, but maybe this is a general melee speed buff so that they can stick on targets easier. But that's maybe not as big for Hulk because he leaps most of the time anyway for his mobility, but it's still really nice. Reduce cooldown time for Indestructible Guard from 10 to 12. That's big. That 2 seconds can make a world of difference. That's a big buff. Decrease minimum charge time. Oh my god. So he can full leap every 0.5? Shit. I think Hulk is... Damn. Hulk is going to be really strong. Especially with his team-ups now as well. He's got the team-up with Namor now as well, right? I think Hulk is going to be uber strong. That is huge. Shit, I need to learn Hulk. Fuck. Magneto! Master of Magnetism will experience a slight decrease in the frequency of his ultimate. Increase the energy cost. Okay, so 300 energy cost change. I don't think this changes anything. I'll be truthful. I think, especially with the strange nerfs, I think Mag is going to be the go-to shield tank, right? He's going to be the go-to frontline main tank, I think. I don't see that changing with these changes, honestly. Penny Parker. Penny will receive enhancements to her primary attack damage efficiency and a boost to her survivability and combat capabilities. Okay. Cyber Web Cluster now has a chance to crit. Reduce movement speed penalty while firing cyber. Oh my god. Hang on. They can now crit. Oh my god. That's a massive fuck. And the base health. One of the biggest weaknesses of Penni has always been that she's quite easy to burst. Like she has the stun. She's got the web stun every 3 seconds. And the mines and stuff are really impressive, but you can burst her quite easily. She's quite a big target. This health buff is massive. Like the crit, I don't think people are gonna be ready for how big that is. That's crazy good. And the movement speed penalty is really good for her as well. I think this puts Penni in a really solid spot. I still think she's going to be situational. She's going to be very map dependent and situational, but it makes her a much more viable option for being this kind of anti-dive, anti-push tank. Excuse me. Or space holder on domination. These are really nice buffs. The health, oh my god. Health is massive. The Thing. The ever-loving blue-eyed Thing will see slight reduction in his damage reduction. Oh, okay. So slight nerf to the Thing. I'm guessing. Sorry. So a slight nerf to the Thing's damage reduction. He's still going to be really good. That does hurt a little bit because I think the damage reduction is what makes him really strong as an anti-dive tank and to protect your backline and stuff, to protect your DPS. 25% is still really significant. So I don't think this breaks him. This is a very slight nerf to make him more in line. But I don't think this breaks him. I think he's still really good. He's one of my main tanks because he's just so situationally so fucking good. If the comp allows it, he can just absolutely dominate. Oh, okay, Thor. You guys know that Thor is my boy. Thor is my main. What have you done? He'll increase in survivability. Base health. And he's got the movement speed as well. Oh my god, that's such a big win for Thor. Dude, the base health alone is massive. 75. Because you've got to remember, he also gets the bonus HP on top of that for using the abilities. So that is already a really nice change. And as well, Thor really struggles with things like solo tanking or soaking damage, right? He's a pseudo DPS essentially. This would allow. So I'm saying this from a Thor main perspective, right? A couple of the really tough matchups for Thor are playing into things like Squirrel Girl. Because when you try and dive on top of them, she just nuts you in place and then destroys you, along with the other people focusing you at the same time. This might not sound like a huge deal, but this 75 HP in combination with your bonus HP when you pop your Awakening, when you dive on top of her, for example, could be the biggest difference between surviving and not surviving. And because of the cooldown change in 1.5, it will allow you to dash out and escape way more often. The movement speed is crazy. I'm guessing I'm right that they've done it, they've done it to Hulk and Thor because they're melee, right? Thor, sometimes there are many situations where I will struggle into a Hela, for example, because if I don't get exactly on top of her, she either birds out and just destroys me from afar, or she just walks backwards and she can stay out of your range if you don't have another dash up, right? If you've used all your Thor Force. And she'll just delete you as she's walking backwards. This, unless Hela's got speed buff as well, which we'll see later, this means that I can fucking run at her and I can still kill her. This is a huge change for Thor. This is so good. I think he is. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Thor. He is now more pseudo tank, as well as being incredible DPS. So I'm fucking stoked. Let's go. This is a celestial season for me, baby. Playing Thor. This is my celestial season. Holy. Duelists. Right. I'm sure we've got some big ones here. Natasha is receiving optimizations to shooting experience. Added a new effect where Black Widow can directly shoot after releasing the second kick of Edge Dancer and after using Electroplasm Explosion. Yo, that is actually really cool. Does this fix Black Widow? Fuck no. Not even close. We've talked a lot about Black Widow. I still think just having a sniper in this game just doesn't work. Having to play a sniper that you have to aim down sights in a third person, extremely fast paced arena shooter like this doesn't work. I think she needs an entire like reformatting, rechange. But if they're gonna keep her as she is, this is a nice little buff. Because what it means is you can now probably play a lot less sniper heavy, and you can play in their face melee, right? And then no scope afterwards. So you can get in their face, kick them, pull them back in and kick them, and then immediately, I need to see this in practice, you then can immediately no scope them, right? Or what's the hip fire? God, brain went. So you can immediately hit fire afterwards, which might be enough to kill a lot of people. So there might be a world in where you can actually just play her as this sit behind tank vibe or sit on your healers and kind of, you know, if your healers are getting dove or something, you jump on them, do your melee combo, and then you might be able to just one-shot them with a direct shot afterwards, right? We'll see how quickly that combo... I'm sure there's going to be some crazy animation canceling shit that people come out with, so... We'll see how that plays out, but interesting change. Hawkeye. We're improving Clint's mobility while drawing his bow, enhancing his combat abilities, and increasing the threat of his ultimate. Oh, God. Reduce the slow while charging from 30 to 20. Okay. He's a bit quicker while he's pulling it back. Increase both instances of damage for hypersonic arrow from 50 to 55. So a little buff on the, I think this is E. I still don't think you use this very often. I've seen a couple of times where it does help against flyers, but I've not seen this be really effective, to be honest. You just get way more damage out of your normal arrow. Decrease the energy cost for Hunter's Sight. From 3.7 to 3.1. That's big. That's a huge fucking buff. Oh my God. And improve the bow draw speed increase from 1.35 to 1.5 times. These are some really nice Hawkeye buffs. I'll be honest, I'm not sure he needed it. I think Hawkeye... From what I've seen in my lobbies, I've seen Hawkeyes. They've moved away from this, like the season 0 hella Hawkeye snipe from the back meta, and I've just seen Hawkeyes like pummel the fucking tanks. And as a tank player, it's incredibly oppressive, because just the damage he outputs is crazy. I thought he was in a pretty good spot, personally. I thought it's situational, but pretty good. Not you just obviously wouldn't play him over a hella, right? These are some major buffs though. Like even just the slow effect is pretty big. This is nice, but not this though. Like the 600 decreased energy is fucking insane. And then the draw speed, because you got to think about what this means, right? The draw speed is he fires insanely fast in his ult, and it's full charged. Like this could legit like break teams really fast during the duration of his ultimate, and he gets it a lot quicker. So these are some really nice Hawkeye buffs. Holy. Hella, please say they've nerfed her into the fucking ground. I hate this hero. Goddess of Power will see the Goddess of Death. I mean, she is the Goddess of Power, to be honest. We'll see a reduction in mobility while slightly enhancing her offensive power. God, what have they done? Increased cooldown time on Astral Flock. I don't mind this. I think it's a dumbass ability that she's invulnerable anyway. It's pretty fucking stupid. So I don't mind them increasing it to 15 seconds. It means maybe she's got to be a lot more selective, especially in chaotic fights. I don't mind this. Increased spell field damage from Piercing Knight from 30 to 35. So fucking unnecessary. Why are we buffing anything about this hero? Fucking dumb. Increased cooldown time for Soul Drainer from 12 to 10. I don't get this. I really, really don't. I'm also unbelievably shocked that they haven't addressed any problems with her damage fall off. As far as I know, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or anything, as far as I'm aware, Hela has no damage fall off in the game currently at all. And I don't know if that was just a bug at the start of the season. I haven't seen a bug fix for that. So as far as I'm aware, we'll test it out in the range later on, probably tomorrow when I jump on stream. But as far as I'm aware, she has no damage fall off whatsoever, which that's fucking bananas. Like this cooldown is fine as a nerf, but then you've given her, you basically given her a better cooldown on one of her other abilities and increase her damage. Like so far, I really like all the changes. This is dumb as fuck. I don't know what they're thinking. Well, I'm going to test it out. This is... man, I'm fucking pissed about that, if I'm honest. That's fucking wild. Human Torch. Johnny's attack feedback and survivability are being improved to enhance his impact across various combat scenarios. Okay. Another buff. Human Torch. Reduced attack interval for Fire Cluster from 6 to 0.5. Very minor, but nice. The launch timing of the primary attack projectile has been advanced. Okay. So I'm guessing this means, off the top of my head, this means less of a backswing, or like less of an animation when he's attacking, when he's throwing his left click. Increase the cooldown of Flaming Meteor from 12 to 15. Adds a new effect. After releasing Flaming Meteor, immediately gain... Ooh! This is kind of nice. So one of the... I started playing a lot of Johnny in quick plays and stuff to learn him because I thought he was actually kind of... I thought there was some secret to him where he could actually be really, really good. And I've come across a couple of really good Johnnies in my comp games. One of the biggest problems with him is when you dive in, you often just get burst like a motherfucker, right? Because you make yourself vulnerable. You're diving with your whole body into them, right? So if you're not selective and careful about it, you just get burst. This is a really nice way to buff that. And it means that with the increased cooldown, you just got to be more selective about when you do it, right? But this is a really nice boon. We'll test this out in the range, but some really nice... This is a big buff, but this feels a little minimal. But really nice. I think that's really nice for Johnny, yeah. I think we're going to see a lot more of him, to be honest. Iron Man. Iron Man is seeing improvements to his mid-range combat effectiveness. Slightly reduce Iron Man's hitbox size. Okay. I mean, slightly. I don't mind it as long as it's not like trying to hit a fucking pea under a mattress or something. Do you know what I mean? New feature. Gain 100 bonus health activating armor overdrive. Oh my god, dude. I will say though. Wait, but he still gets the gamma. This is fucking dumb. Maybe, to be fair, I haven't seen a lot of good Iron Man lately because of things like Hela. Because Hela is just so fucking strong, and Star-Lord. I like flyers in general are just getting fucking shit on. So I do understand why they've given him this buff, but this seems kind of wild, no? I suppose it does kind of make popping the overdrive into a defensive ability as well, which could be quite interesting. Instead of popping it for damage specifically, it could be an interesting way to survive now. We'll see how it shakes out. I mean, with Hela being as strong as she is, and I don't see that changing. I think she's going to continue to be fucking insane. It does make sense to try and give the flyers a little bit of a buff to help with that, but we'll see. This could be really nice. Linley will see an increase in his combat effectiveness against vanguards. Oh god. They're really pushing this. They're really pushing him as an anti-tank now, which is so interesting. Obviously, when he first got released, it was like, nah, he's a fucking backline diver. He's a pest. He's a fucking swat. He's a fly. He's annoying. They're really trying to turn him into another tank buster, which is quite a cool direction to go in. Because Wolverine, because of Wolverine's abilities, he's a lot more effective at it while surviving because of his healing and his get out of jail free card, right? With his passive. But Iron Fist struggles a bit more with that. Sometimes you go in and you just get fucking railed, right? So let's see what they've done. Reduce bonus max health gained from Harmony recovery from 150 to 100. Oh, so they've reduced this back down, right? But it doesn't fall off as quick. I don't mind it. I think Iron Fist already has a problem trying to stay alive a lot of times when he's trying to dive into a front line rather than the back line. But yeah, okay, I don't mind it. Lower fixed damage of whatever, from 10 to 9. Increases the percentage damage. Yeah, they are pushing this hard. Oh my god. As a tank player, this kind of fucking terrifies me a little bit. I don't mind these changes for Iron Fist though. It makes him like, it makes him really playable as this anti-tank vibe, as this like you know, with the max health damage. But you have to play him very carefully because like he can be susceptible to be burst. So it makes his play style, you have to pick your moments really intelligently, and you have to know when to go in and when to back out, because you lose 50 safety net here. And granted, you lose the fall off slower, but you lose the base 50 straight up when you jump in. But you do have more damage. And a nice kick cooldown as well. Yeah, some really interesting changes. And it's really clear what direction they want Iron Fist to go in, right? I don't mind it. I would rather him be a tank buster, because at the moment it's only Wolverine, really. Maybe Squirrel Girl, if you can call her that. But as a melee tank buster, I like it. I like this direction. I think it's cool. But I am now terrified of Iron Fist. Mr. Fantastic! God, he needs some buffs. Let's see what they've done. We're enhancing Reed's capabilities while making some balance adjustments to his ultimate energy charge rate. Adding additional controllability and optimizing the release experience of his ultimate. Good. It fucking needed it. Let's see. Increase base health from 350 to 375. Nice. You know, leaning into the pseudo tank. Boost the damage of stretch punch from 60 to 65 and from 75 to 80 while inflated. Nice little damage buff. Nothing insane. But 5 damage could make a big difference. I think this is nice. The ultimate is where they really needed to fix him. So let's see. Flexible elongation new effect. Enemies within range now suffer a 35% slow. Holy fuck. Reduce flexible elongation cooldown time from 10 to 8. Yo, that slow effect is crazy. Dude, 35% is a lot in a game like this. You have to remember that a game like Marvel Rivals and Overwatch, movement is the most OP ability in this game, right? Movement speed and movement impairing abilities, like movement in general, is the most insane stat in this game. It's not even close. So slows can be really effective. That's a really cool idea. I want to see how that shakes out. That's a big slow. My God. And a nice little cooldown reduction. Reduce the elasticity gain from elastic strength. From 30 to 20. Okay, so it's harder to hit your inflated. While the elasticity provided by stretch punch is increased, after entering the inflated state, the bonus health provided has been reduced. Right. So because there was people discovered that there was a combo to always stay in inflated. So I wonder if they're trying to combat that because they don't want you to be always be able to be in the inflated state. They want you to have to pick and choose it a bit more carefully. I mean, maybe, yeah, you still get more for punching, so maybe it's not that. We'll have to see how that shakes out, but interesting changes. New feature. When Mr. Fantastic uses Brainiac Bounce, immediately gain bonus health equal to that gained when entering inflated state. Oh, so you just get, you just get a flat 400 bonus HP when you pop it, right? I don't know about this, guys. I'll be honest. I don't know about this. Some of these are really nice changes. Like the base HP is really nice. The extra damage is really nice. The slow is really nice. Maybe that bonus health just, because I'm guessing that's it's like separate to an inflated state. So for example, I'm guessing you could go inflated and then you'd get the bonus HP from the inflated and then go into his ult and it would be a separate 400 HP. Like they're not the same bonus health pool. Does that make sense? Although I guess we need to test that. So does that, and the other question is, do they stack, right? Can you go inflated and then bounce for like 800 HP or something ridiculous? I think what I wanted to see them do was like reduce the time that you're like in the air during this ultimate. It feels really clunky to use, but it might also be that the slow effect from this makes this a lot easier to hit consistently. So really interesting changes. And clearly you can see they're really, really leaning into this like pseudo tank vibe, right? You can definitely run him as like, you could have a solo tank and then him kind of sit behind it and just be a fucking nuisance in their face. This is going to be super interesting. I want to try this out. I'll definitely take a longer look at Mr. Fantastic. But I'm already aware this video is already half an hour, so I don't want this to be like a 3-hour VOD. So we'll try and race through. We're optimizing Mark's Moonblade projectile bounce feedback while improving maneuverability, ultimate, and survivability. Fuck me. Increase Crescent Dart projectile speed from 120 to 150. Okay. Moonblade new effect. Gain 25... Oh, fuck off, dude. Moon Knight is going to be fucking awful. And I mean awful to play into. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Gain 25 bonus health with each enemy hit up to a maximum of 100. 3 seconds after the bonus health stops increasing, it will start fall off at a rate of 20. Speed up Moonlight. Moonlight hook pull. Startup time from 0.4 to 0.15. Dude, that's such a crazy buff. Extend the duration of Hand of Khonshu from 3.5 to 4.5. And fuck off. Increase the number of talons generated during this period from 14 to 18. Additionally, the fall speed of talons has been slightly enhanced. A new damage fall off... Hang on. A new damage fall off mechanic for the spell field has been added, beginning at 1.5 meters from the center and reaching a maximum reduction of 70% at 5 meters. Interesting. Oh my god. Right. So if I'm reading this right, and I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments if I'm not. So if I'm reading this right, it lasts longer. It does more. You get more talons. So ultimately just way more damage. It also falls quicker. But there is a pretty significant damage reduction the further away from the center of it you get. Right. So I'm guessing that what they're trying to encourage is like to aim it well and to try and use the ank to try and keep people in the middle as long as possible. This is a really interesting way to approach it. Because on reading this first bit, you go, okay, this is busted as fuck, right? This is so busted. But actually, with the damage reduction, because they do what? 100, I think it's 150 per hand, right? So if they're doing 150 per hand, if you get further than 5 meters away, 5 meters or more, you're reducing the damage by 105. So then each hand only does 45 damage at that point, right? Which is actually, I mean, considering they've, you know, there's a lot more of them happening and it is longer. Of course, if you sit in it, you're still going to get railed. But it's also, it makes the placement of it so important. Because if you start out at the edge, man, you're fucking chilling, right? If you get caught on the edge and not the center, you're only taking 45 damage. So that's a really interesting change. This is crazy good for Moon Knight's getting away. This I fucking hate. This is so dumb, and I'll tell you why. Moon Knight is, I think Moon Knight was still in a really good spot in general. Like, not as strong as Season 0 by any means. The ultimate was really hard to get good value out of. But I think his anks and his damage is still really good if you're an effective Moon Knight player. The one thing that Moon Knight's, his biggest weakness, which made him able, that you could play into him, is that he's burstable. He's very easy to get on top of and burst, right? But I liked that because it meant that Moon Knights had to really consider their positioning. They had to really utilize that the hook to try and get on some high grounds and take some really interesting angles. It made Moon Knight's play a lot more dynamic. This, like, 100 HP might not sound like a lot, but that is going to save you from so much stuff. Does this continuously stack is going to be my question. 3 seconds after the bonus health stops increasing, it will start to fall off at a rate of 20 per second. If during that, if during this fall off rate, you do more damage, does it continuously keep you topped up at 100? Is my question. If it does, this is fucking ridiculous. If it doesn't, and you have to wait for it to all fall off before you can do it again, then maybe it's okay. But we're going to need to test that because I don't know. That seems, he's just got mega buff, dude. Like, Moon Knight is eating good. Scarlet Witch. We're reducing Wanda's survivability, increasing her threat level against strategists and duelists while optimizing her ultimate ability release experience. Remove chaos control percentage damage while increasing fixed damage. Nice. I like it. As a tank player, I like it. This is good. There's so many occasions where Scarlet Witch would just like, it feels like she was doing way more than she should have done because of the percentage damage, but this is much worse for supports though. Like supports and DBS are gonna have a fucking miserable time against this hero now. She can burst you pretty, I mean 80 damage a second. All she's got to do is stick on you for like 3 seconds and you're pretty much all the way there, and that's not including the right clicks, which have also been buffed by fire. Wait, burst increase burst projectile damage from 35 to 40. Yeah, both the AoE and the immediate hit have been buffed by 5. Are they trying to make people fucking rage quit this game? Everybody hates playing against Scarlet Witches. And now you're gonna buff her like this? Oh my god. Increase the cooldown of Mystic Projection from 8 to 10. Ooh, this is nice though. This is nice. I like it. This is a good way to balance it, right? I like this. Yeah. So she does a lot more while she's able to, but her Nick. Her survivability is significantly worse. That doesn't sound like a lot, but 2 seconds and the 0.5 second phase state is pretty big for her. Like, it's a pretty big nerf for her. Rework the slow effect of reality erasure to start at 1.5 seconds instead of starting immediately with a linear increase to 35% slow over 35 seconds. Does that mean she doesn't get the slow when she pops her ult? So does that mean she starts at just fucking full speed for the first 1.5 seconds? She's gonna be fucking zooming. Yo, that's crazy. And is way better for her survivability in a lot of ways, right? Because you can pop that from further away and line it up and get to where you need to be a lot quicker. Because that first 1.5 seconds, you can fucking leg it towards them. These are some pretty crazy buffs. Along with the new team up, I think we are going to see a lot of Scarlet Witch. I think she's going to be very high up in the priority. This buff here is a fucking nightmare for supports and stuff. It does mean you have to be a lot more careful about your positioning because of this, but man, she's going to be ruining lobbies. Holy. I think arguably she's probably, from what I've seen so far, she's probably one of the biggest winners from this patch right now. Star-Lord, we're reducing Peter's damage output and efficiency of his ultimate. Thank the fucking Lord. Reduce blaster barrage damage from 80 to 75. Minimal, but acceptable. Introduce a new damage fall-off mechanic starting at 4 meters and maxing out. I fucking love this change. I love this change. Part of the reason that Star-Lord was so fucking good is he could poke you from the other side of the goddamn map and it would still hurt, right? He's this annoying Tracer-style pest. And I never understood why he didn't have crazy damage fall-off. Or damage reduction. This means that you've got to get in there. If you want to do deeps, you got to get in their face and risk exposure. You do still have great ways to get out, right? Does this also apply for his ultimate? If this applies for his ultimate, this is fucking insane, actually. Because it means because traditionally, if you most Star-Lords will be high up in the air, right? Because it's auto lock. So you want as much visibility on the enemy team as possible to maximize it. This means that you're gonna have to change the way you think about ults, right? And you're gonna have to get in their face because otherwise you might not be able to burst them. If you're higher than 8 meters away and you've got an 80% reduction on that damage. I don't know which one Blaster Barrage is. But is this... I think that's his E, right? That's his, like, Reaper style E. But is this the introduced damage fall off? Is that for all of his abilities? We need to see that. Because if it is, I fucking love that change, dude. I love that change. Mainly because I fucking despise Star-Lord, but I love that change. Something needed to happen because Star-Lord in high level and pro was fucking busted. It was insane. Winter Soldier, please. Before I look at this, if this isn't a goddamn nerf, I'm going to be so fucking pissed. They've done so well so far, Rivals. If you are, apart from Hela, which I think you fucked up in a big way, if you have not reduced Bucky, I am going to be fucking raging. We're lowering Bucky's threat level against Vanguards and reducing the margin for error in his ultimate. Ah, that's what I want to hear. Those are the words that I wanted to hear from you. Fuck yeah. Increase the cooldown time from Bionic Hook. Love it. Love it. It is a fucking crazy good ability. I love this. Yes. Reduce base damage of Kraken Impact from 100 to 80. But lower the cull threshold from 20 to 15. Great changes. Great changes. However, I still think he is going to be insanely good. For my money, I think they should have taken away his passive. We talked about this on stream. I think they should take away his bonus HP passive because I think it's dumb as fuck and enables him to 1v1 anybody in the game. That hasn't changed. The lowering the threat level against Vanguards with the hook, like, yeah, you've increased that cooldown by 50%, but you haven't changed how the hook functions. The hook is still insanely good. It's still an AoE hook. You haven't changed any of his other abilities. He's still, the dash is still fucking nuts. He's now got a second mobility ability with his cap team up, which is going to be fucking bananas. You haven't decreased his damage. You haven't touched his over health or his shielding, or bonus health, sorry, whenever he uses an ability. You haven't touched his reload whenever he uses an ability. I think he is still fucking busted. This is nice, but if he's on a roll and you haven't changed his damage, this doesn't mean shit. Like, you've taken 20 damage off the ult. Great. Love it. And you've lowered the threshold, but he still does insane damage with his normal shots. So if you don't have the supports to back it up, you don't have the Loki lamp or you don't have a support ult to, like, stop this happening, this is still an insanely busted ultimate. You haven't changed him. In my opinion, they have not done nearly enough for Bucky. This is the two biggest heroes that I wanted to see them do something about. I feel like they have not touched in any significant way to stop them being absolutely fucking broken. Which means this season, I mean, Winter Soldier and Hela, in my mind, maybe Scarlet Witch now, they're still permaban material in my mind. I don't think this changes shit for her. Fucking bananas. I'm pretty fucking disappointed in that, if I'm honest. Great, they've given him slight nerfs. I think this is not even remotely nearly enough. Wolverine, we're tuning Logan's rage acquisition rate and slightly lowering his control intensity over enemies. Increase rage, gain from Savage Claw, hits from 7 to 10. Okay. While rage gain from Berserk Claw Strike has been decreased from 7 to 5. So reduced range gain from Feral Leap and from Vicious Rampage from 20 to 15. However, rage gain from taking... Okay, so they're just kind of... All they've done is kind of reworked where he gets his rage from. I don't think that changes much. It maybe changes how you use his abilities and in what order, in order to maximize your range, your rage gaining. But I don't think it changes him as a hero whatsoever. Reduce the time an enemy is knocked down after impact from last stand. That's kind of nice. That might save you in certain situations. I still think Wolverine is incredibly strong. I don't see this. I would need to test this out to see if this effectively, because there is some rage reduction here. Like, this is like 20 to 10 is pretty significant when you do the leap combo. But then you've got, and then, you know, a decrease from Berserk Claws, but then you've got a buff here. You got a buff to rage from taking damage as well. So maybe it just changes the way you approach people, but I still think he's really good. Strategist. I'm so sorry, guys. This is already a 45-minute video, but This is about as in-depth as you can get. All right. I don't know if you're going to agree with a lot of my takes. I don't know if you're going to agree with what I'm saying, but this is about as in-depth as you can get over these patch notes. So, I'm trying to give each hero a good amount of time to try and make sure I know how I feel about it and how it's going to affect the games. But obviously, I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments and stuff if you agree or disagree with a lot of my takes and what you think heroes are going to be strong and stuff. So I will try and keep this under 2 hours, but we're going to zip through it as quickly as I can. Adam Warlock. We're slightly reducing the frequency of Adam's abilities and adjusting the healing provided by his ultimate. So increase the cooldown of Soul Bond. That is pretty fucking bananas. Karmic Revival now restores 30% fallen allies max health instead of a fixed 100. This is kind of fucking nuts. Like, why have an ability that isn't an ultimate that you can only use once every 40 seconds? Like, don't get me wrong. I think Soul Bond is incredibly strong and it's a really good ability. So it should have a cooldown because you want it to be a situation where you need to use it sparingly. And if you're the team diving on an Adam Warlock, for example, you want to try and bait that out and then go back in when you know it's going to be on cooldown. But 40 seconds in a game like this? What, like, if you do a push map, right? That's what, 5-6 minutes? Like, you got to be so careful about when you use this ability. This is kind of nice, though. What's 30% of... let's say you take a 250 HP support, right? Oh, fuck that one up. You take a 250 HP support. So for supports, it's 25 less. It's slightly less, right? Than the 100 base HP. But what it does do is, let's say you're like a 650 HP tank instead. You now get way, like, when you get rezzed, you now start with way more HP. So this is really nice for tanks specifically when they're getting rezzed. Like, you combine that with maybe even just one of his healing beams, and like, man, you're sitting pretty. I still think Adam Warlock is really good. I just think this means that you have to be way more careful about when you're popping Soul Bond and for what reasons. It is kind of fucking bananas to me that you would have an ability. For my money, if you want my opinion, I think they should get rid of Soul Bond. If you need an ability that is so powerful that you have to put it on this insane cooldown as a non-ultimate ability, I think you should swap it out for something else. This feels nuts. Anyway, Cloak and Dagger. We're optimizing the logic of this dynamic duo's ultimate. After activating Eternal Bond, the duration of the first 3 healing zones will no longer be calculated separately. Instead, they will remain active until the duration of the final healing zone ends, at which point all will be removed together. Right. Makes sense, to be honest. It makes perfect sense. I mean, you know, the dash is now what? 0.75, I think. Seconds between the dash. So it's not a huge amount of time that you know, they would separately end. But this just makes more logical sense. So I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I think that's normal. Invisible Woman will be fine-tuning Susan's protective capabilities to create a more strategic gameplay experience. Increase the shield value of Guardian Shield from 300 to 250. As an Invisible Woman player, I don't think this changes much. Yeah, it's kind of sad you lose 50 HP on the shield. But the way that you're using this a lot of the time anyway is you're using it for its healing too, right? So it's to block and heal at the same time. It obviously has not changed the healing. So if you're good enough with it and you're popping it back in rather than just leaving it out, I think this is okay. I think she is really strong anyway, so I don't mind a little nerf, even though I play her. I think it's probably healthier for the balance of the game, so I don't mind it. Loki. To balance Loki's influence in matches, we're making a small adjustment to the freak. This is not enough. This is not enough. It's for me, this is the exact same problem that I have with Soul Bond. This ability is so fucking dumb. For me personally. It is so fucking strong, it's unreal. It's basically a mini support ult. Because of how the rate at which it heals and stuff. And the fact that, you know, as a Thor player, for example, it's almost impossible for me to play into a Loki a lot of times. Because I'm never going to get value from an ultimate. Anytime I try and go on him, he's just going to pop that shit and I can't do anything. I have to then spend 2 seconds swinging my hammer at the fucking diamond before I can actually do anything. I think this ability is fucking dumb as shit, and I think it should be removed and changed for something else. It's the same principle. If you need an ability to have that much of a cooldown because you know how strong it is as a non-ultimate ability, it should be out of the game, man. I think Loki, that doesn't change Loki at all for me. I think that Loki is still fucking insane. I don't think that changes shit. Man, we'll talk about it at the end. To emphasize strategy over speed, we're modifying Mantis's health and buff mechanics. So reduce base health. Shit. Effects of healing flower and allied inspiration can be stacked. Oh my fucking god. What? Okay, Mantis is fucking S tier. That is goddamn fucking bananas. Nah, Mantis is that alone. I don't think you guys understand how fucking strong that is. That alone makes Mantis absolutely fucking god tier. Oh my god, dude. Okay, okay, we're gonna do some testing in the range about the numbers on this. If I remember off the top of my head, because they recently nerfed her damage boost, right? So her damage boost is 10%. It's either 10 or 8. But on self, I think it's 12 or 16, and I can't remember which one. Let's assume it's 10, and I will look up the numbers later because I don't want to sit here and do that now. You could give yourself a 40, or you can give an ally a 40% damage boost. Just instantly. And yeah, you have to use healing flowers for it. And it also gives her some kind of burst healing, which is something she's never really had before, right? But like if a tank is 1 HP, you just fucking 4-stack the healing flowers on. Man, they're going to be back up in a second. Like this, like the base HP, you know, it means that she can get comboed by a lot more stuff. But she's got the sleep to kind of help with dive and stuff. Man, this is fucking bananas. I personally, I think this makes Mantis instantly S tier. Because it was one of the things that always pissed me off about Mantis was sometimes you would just spam accidentally because they needed healing. Oh man, that's so wild. Oh my god. That might be one of the... I don't know if I'm glazing this too hard. In my mind, I think that's one of the biggest buffs that I've seen in this patch. Period. Rocket's healing abilities will see some adjustments to enhance team survivability while balancing his mobility. Okay, here we go. Decrease the healing area of repair mode spheres from 70 health per second to 50. Health per whatever it is to 50. Add a new effect of one-time healing to 55. Oh, wait, what? Wait. Is that for each ball? They get an instant 55 HP if they're within the range? Like as a burst heal? And it's faster? Nah, dude. Rocket's fucking crazy. Ah, fuck me. I think that is insane, no? Oh my, I think that's fucking wild. Extend cooldown for jetpack dash from 6 to 10. That's a pretty big nerf, though. That's a pretty big nerf. So he's easier to catch. He's less, like, slippery. Wow, that's a pretty big nerf, I think. Reduce the ultimate damage boost from 40 to 25. But add a new effect. During the ability's duration, linked allies will oh my god, dude. Rocket is like, all of you fucking Rocket haters in chat, all of you people that have been shitting on this hero, he just got mega buffed. Are you kidding? Linked allies will receive an additional 100 bonus health points per second, capping at 150. After breaking the link, this bonus starts to fall off after 1 second at a rate of 75 per second. And it takes longer. Nah, dude, this is fucking wild. Right. So they haven't touched his res, which arguably was one of the best parts of Rocket, that fucking crazy 30-second res beacon. His healing is less AoE, but more burst healing, which is insane, and faster. His jetpack is nerfed pretty significantly. That's a big cooldown nerf. So you have to be way more selective about using your mobility. But his ultimate, man, for all of the people, like, because what this does, right, is it offsets a lot of the complaints that people have about Rocket. The two biggest complaints that people had about Rocket is that the healing is slow and over time. So even though he heals a lot, it's very slow and methodical. So it's hard for him to heal on his own. You need a burst healer to work alongside him. And the second biggest complaint is that his ultimate is a great damage boost, but it doesn't help against two support ults, essentially. So if you're facing a Cloak and an Invisible Woman, they're just going to naturally win out a lot of the times because of their immortal ults. This helps with that in a huge way while retaining a damage boost. So the damage boost isn't as fucking wild for you to like roll over the team as quickly, but you get a lot of support. This is insane, dude. 100 bonus health a second. And that shit lasts for a while as well. Like, fighting into that is going to be real tough. I think this is a mega Rocket buff. I think that's a mega Rocket buff. Holy fuck. The team up abilities. We're coming up to the hour mark. I'm so sorry, guys. We're gonna... How much have we got to go? Okay, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Okay. Team up abilities. Arcane Order, Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch. As the team up anchor, Doctor Strange gains a maximum health increase of 100. Just always? Scarlet Witch unlocks a new magical burst ability through a team up. Okay, but we don't have the numbers. I want to see the numbers on that. But 100 HP for Strange. I'm guessing that's what we talked about. That's what they talked about before when we talked about Strange. And we saw his damage nerfs. And I said I didn't see the survivability. I'm guessing it's because it's in here. This is what they meant. It's linked within the team up, which is kind of a cool idea. Because it encourages them to play together. Because, I mean, that's a big loss if you don't play with a Wanda. Like, the 100 HP, that is a big loss. Honestly. Captain America Winter Soldier. As the team-up anchor, Cap America gains a maximum health of increase of 100. And a 5% boost in damage. That is nice. That is real nice. So I'm guessing that's also partly why they nerfed Captain America naturally to try and encourage the team-up. The damage boost is fucking needed. That's a really nice reason to play them together. Winter Soldier unlocks a devastating stellar impact ability through his team up with Cap America. Again, no numbers. I want to see the numbers on this. That's a nice little buff for Cap, though. I like it. Because obviously Cap loses the Thor team up, right? So this is nice. Mental Projection, Emma Frost, Psylocke, Magneto. As they team up Anchor, Emma Frost gains a max health of 100. Love it. Very similar. Magneto receives the Magnetic Resonance ability. His team up. Psylocke receives Soul Resurgence. I want more information on this. This is very lackluster. Give me more info. What does that mean? Adjusted or removed? Right. Winter Soldier removed from Ammo Overload. We knew that. Fuck that guy. That was a fucking broken team up. I like this change. It means that if you want to run it, even like, and Rocket has been mega buffed in my opinion. So I think Rocket is going to be run quite a lot. You have to run the Punisher for the team up. Otherwise, you don't get shit, right? So I like this. Nemo's lost Frozen Spawn. We knew that. I like it. I thought that Squid was fucking busted with the move slow. We already talked about movement speed being an incredibly strong stat in this game. But now, I'm going to skip slightly ahead. Now we know it's been given to him as part of the Gamma Charge. Again, no numbers here, which is really disappointing, man. I want to see all the numbers for this shit. Temporal reconfiguration for these powerful souls. Yep, so this is just Psylocke losing it, but you can still do it with Black Panther. We just talked about this. Doctor Strange loses the Gamma team up, which is, again, a big hit for Strange, I think. Hulk, Strange, Iron Man was a really sick combo and was really tough to play into. So I don't mind this change at all. Sad for Doctor Strange's, but I don't mind this at all, really. Namor now gains the Gamma Monstro ability. I need to see numbers, fuckers, because this seems like it could be really fucking strong. Can you imagine, like, depending on how much damage this adds, imagine that when you hit your right click with Namor. You're going to fucking destroy anybody. And Hulk got some really nice buffs, dude. I think Hulk is in a really good spot. But we'll talk about that at the end. Metallic Chaos. We know that this team up is now gone. Dunzo. And obviously the Thor Cap one, Storm one is gone. That's it. It took us an hour. We got there. Let me know what you guys think. Like, who are the big winners here? Who do you think got the biggest buffs, the biggest nerfs? Who you're really sad about? I also don't see anything about Jeff here. Did I miss Jeff here? I thought Jeff was getting some buffs, but apparently not. Maybe that's coming in 2.5, but that feels like it's missing. Maybe we'll get some more updated patch notes later. I don't know. It seems unlikely, but okay. The biggest winners for me in this, just quickly to kind of cap this off, Hulk, I think, is a really big winner here. Not just because of the team-ups with Namor, because Namor was already... Namor stands alone as a really good anti-dive. And now with a Hulk team-up, I think this just puts Hulk in a really great spot. I think Strange is... I'm not going to go through everyone. We've talked about him. I think Penny's got some really nice buffs. She's a pretty big winner. Thor's got some really nice buffs. He's a pretty big winner. I think Hawkeye is going to be a big winner from this. Hela is fucking disgusting. I don't understand this shit. I'm honestly really, really disappointed in the Hela and Winter Soldier changes. They're not even remotely enough for me. Mr. Fantastic's got some nice bonuses. He's probably... Moon Knight's a big winner, in my opinion. Or maybe not a big winner, but I think he's definitely a winner from this. Scarlet Witch is a fucking massive winner. This hero is going to be out of control. This hero is going to be dumb as fuck. I'm telling you right now. I think arguably Scarlet Witch and Mantis are probably the two biggest winners of this patch. She's fucking insane. Yeah, I think Mantis, that Mantis change is absurd. Needed for Mantis players for sure. I also think Rocket is a really big winner. I think these two as supports are going to be fucking S tier. Loki has not changed at all. He's still fucking S tier. It's still ridiculous. So yeah, overall, I think we've seen a bit more changes. There's been some really nice changes that I agree with. But in general, we're seeing the same thing. They are playing it really conservative for me. Which is understandable. They're going by the ethos of fun. So, you know, they don't want to take away stuff like Hela and stuff. They don't want to take away the fun of playing Hela, right? By completely nerfing her into the ground. They've played it really conservative, as they have with every patch so far, I think, in terms of hero balancing. Anyway. I don't know if you agree with my take. Maybe you see this really differently. This is just my first impressions, by the way. So this is before I've seen any of this in effect. This is just from reading. So obviously this could change a lot as we see these things in action. But from just reading the patch notes, I'm pretty gutted about Hela and Winter Soldier. These guys have been ruining my fucking games, and I really wish they did more. I really wish they did a lot more. But all in all, really interesting patch. As I said, let's wrap this up. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested on other people's opinions on this game. I've got a lot of my own strong opinions. I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. I've spent a lot of time learning this game. I've played every single hero to a pretty high degree. I took the time to learn every hero, so I feel like I've got pretty good understanding of the game as a whole. But maybe you guys read it differently. So I'm really interested to have a chat. You know, you don't need to come at me and be a dick about it in the comments. But let's talk about it. I wanna see what you guys think, and let me know who you think are the big winners. When we've had some time to look them over, when we've had some time to play them, I'm gonna be doing a prediction. We'll do a prediction tier list of who I think might be really strong, and then we'll compare it at the end of the season and see who actually shook out to be really strong. But yes, thank you for sticking with me this far. If you've made it this far into the video, I super appreciate you. And hey, subscribe. If you've sat here and listened to me fucking waffle for over an hour, I think you like me enough to sub. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs as soon as possible to try and get into the partner program. So it would really help me out, and I would really, really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy. I do a lot of Marvel Rivals content, so come and follow me over on Twitch as well. Same name, Simply Nickish, or on TikTok if you want more short form, because this was really fucking long. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Have a great day, and I will see you out there on the what is it they say? Ignite the battle. I'll see you guys out there. Much love.